Archbishop Andreus. This boss is very weak to fire, but try your best to not punish him too many times because he can catch you off guard. Let's talk about his moves real quick. This 3-hit combo starts with his right leg. He swipes his right leg from left to right, stomps that same leg on the ground before swiping his left leg at you. From the moment he swipes with his right leg, there are about 3.5 seconds before the stomp comes down. So if you count roughly about 3.5 seconds, you should be able to perfect parry it. Then after, there's about 2.5 seconds before the left leg comes swinging at you. So with these measurements, you should be able to perfect parry the move. Once again, this is not insanely accurate. This is just a rough judgment to give you like an idea of when to press the parry button or when to dodge if you are dodging. If you are dodging, then I do suggest waiting until the second hit lands. Once the second hit lands, you can punish him by hitting him once, giving you enough time to move away from the third hit. The next move is a tongue attack. There are 2 tongue attacks. One slams down and the other one is a side swipe from left to right. His indication for the tongue attack is he will lift his head up. As soon as he lifts his head up, there's about half a second before the tongue comes slamming down, but there are 3 seconds from the tongue slamming down to the side swipe. If you are dodging this move, then I suggest dodging away from the first slam, but then dodging into him for the second swipe so that you can get some damage in. Be mindful though, because he can use a tongue swipe on its own without the tongue slamming down first. The next move is a red attack. In this attack, he simply stands up and then sits down with his whole body. Right here, I perfect parry the move so fast you don't even see me bring out my weapon, but I counted from the moment his body goes red and he stands up. There are about 2.5 seconds before he drops down. So within 2.5 seconds, press that parry button and you should perfect parry him. Again, it's a rough idea. It might take you some time to get used to it, but it's around about 2.5 seconds. If you're dodging him, simply run away from the move and you can run back for some extra damage. With this next move, he lifts both legs up into the air and then slams them down at you, and then follows up with a left leg swipe from right to left. If you are parrying him, I counted 1 second from the moment both his feet were in the air until he slams down. From the moment he slams down, there are 3 seconds between the slam and the side swipe. If you have been parrying him this entire time, you should have seen this health bar have the white outline around it around about twice. If you've seen it, don't be afraid to charge attack him to stagger him. Get another charge attack in before then doing the visceral attack. Once you've done the visceral attack, feel free to charge attack him again before he starts moving. I counted 10 perfect parries before the white outline showed around his health bar the first time. But for you, it might be 11, it might be 12, but around about that number is the golden number, between 10 and 12. If you are dodging, it does take a lot longer to get the white outline around his health bar. For me, it didn't show until he was half health in phase 1. The next move he has is this right arm slam, followed by a left arm swipe from left to right. There is about half a second from when his hand is all the way up until he slams down, and then 3 seconds from the slam to the side swipe from the left leg. Dodging this move is pretty easy and you get to punish him after he's done, so that's always nice. There is one more move that he does in his first phase, but I didn't get a clip of it because he didn't do it for me. So essentially it's the clip you're seeing right here. The only difference is here he does 3 stomps with his legs, whereas in phase 1 it's 2 stomps followed by the swipe of the left leg. But essentially speaking, I counted about 2.5 seconds between each hit. So with 2.5 seconds counted, you should be able to perfect parry it or perfect dodge it. Let's take a look at phase 2. In phase 2, I suggest waiting until he does this specific move right here. This move lunges him forward and he takes a while to stand up, allowing you the time to go behind him to make the fight slightly easier. Now he does have the exact same moves as phase 1 with a few extra moves added, and we're going to look at them right now. First move is this red attack. Normally in phase 1 he just stands up and sits back down, whereas in phase 2 he now adds 2 steps. The second attack is this mini charge followed by a left arm swipe. Now the mini charge itself doesn't do any damage, but the left arm swipe does. Essentially he charges by stomping his feet 3 times, and there's 2 seconds between the last stomp and his left arm swipe from left to right. This next move is his most devastating attack, and you might want to listen closely to what I'm about to say next. As you can see, he is charging up a beam attack, or what a lot of people people don't know is he is charging up the same beam on both ends of the boss. So the best way that I have found to deal with this move is to run towards the center point of his left leg. If you do that, you entirely miss the first beam. Once the first beam has been shot, run straight back to where the first beam was so you can miss the second beam. He also takes a while to stand up after this attack, so get in some prime damage. Another devastating move he has is what I like to call the full thrash. I call it the full thrash because he ends with a red attack. Now it's essentially him just roaring and then charging twice all over the place, ending with a third thrash, which is a red attack. Whether you're parrying or dodging, I have found that the best way to dodge this attack is just to run away from him. Run as far as you can, and then when he charges towards you, run around him in the other direction. This will also miss the red attack. He also has this headbutt attack, which he may also follow up with his phase 1 tongue attack. Now the headbutt itself doesn't do much damage, but the tongue attack is very lethal, so be careful of that. Now that's about it for Andreus. You should have him dead. If you don't, it is okay to make a mistake. It is okay to die and to go and repeat it. As long as you remember what to do, you should be alright and you should kill him.